Hello friends and my lovely viewers. Welcome back to the channel of Neon Safe. Today we will talk about our new Shimo clan. Let's get started.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
Both our female and male champions of this clan are marksmen, which means they specialize in long-range attacks. This may be an indicator to place them in the back row of the battlefield, but do keep in mind our decision may depend on what type of skills, traits, and team comp we have. So I honestly suggest we try swapping our champions around to find the best setup for our team. Anyways, our champion's clan trait is called Encouraged. According to its description, at trait level 18 we will gain a 32.5% strength buff if an enemy dies within 3 seconds of taking damage from either of our male or female Shimo champions. The strength buff only lasts for 8 seconds, and this effect cannot be dispelled. The buff looks nice and all, but it only lasts for 8 seconds and the criteria is pretty lame. Believing we can make an enemy champ die within 3 seconds may be a little bit optimistic. Our Shimo champions have to kill the enemy real fast to gain the strength buff, and the buff won't even be permanent. In my opinion, our clan trait can only be useful on one-shot DPS champs or those champs who have execution effects. So that makes our list of potential champion hosts pretty slim, and it may still not be worth it. I personally would not aim for this type of clan trait unless we have a very specific champion that may be compatible with it. For now I do not see how this clan trait will be great for our team in general, since there are too many negative sides, and we do have better strength boosting traits available in Bloodline. If I am to rank this clan trait from S tier to D tier, I'd say it unfortunately lands on a solid B tier. Our clan trait kinda works, but only for a selected few of our champions, and it is also clearly outmatched by our superior strength traits such as brutal and aggressive. This is just my own opinion by the way, so feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments below. Let us move on to talk about our female Shimo next. Our female Shimo's active skill will shoot 5 arrows forward. This attack deals 880% strength damage to enemies in a fan-shaped area, and grants our female Shimo a shield equal to 580% of her strength. The shield lasts for 10 seconds. I can totally imagine the 5 arrows being those 5 icy spear-looking things we see behind her. So the arrows will spread out in front, which means we may not hit the same enemy with all our arrows, but it could still hit multiple enemies and deal plenty of damage altogether. The percentage sounds great, and since both her damage output and shield is strength-based, we may want to boost her total strength by placing specific strength buffing traits onto her. Anyways, to give a quick summary of this skill, she basically launches an AoE attack and creates a shield for herself. So her active skill is both offensive and defensive, exactly like described in the name of her skill. I wouldn't say this skill of hers is super impressive or overly powerful in any way, but it comes off as kinda decent. Moving on to her passive skill. We start off with 5 enchanted arrows. Each normal attack we launch will consume 1 arrow and deal 350% strength-based damage to the target. When all our 5 arrows are used up, we will replenish them, and in doing so the arrow's damage increases by 20%. This can stack up to 5 times. At max stacks, arrows will deal an additional damage equal to 8% of the target's constitution, up to a maximum of 2000% of her strength. To break it down a little, we use 1 arrow for each normal attack we launch. Since we have 5 arrows, the arrows will be used up after the 5th normal attack, but our arrows also replenish themselves. The arrow's damage increases by 20% after being replenished, and this can stack up to 5 times. We will deal even more damage at max stacks, but it is limited by our amount of strength. I hope it made a little bit more sense. We may want to ensure we launch her normal attacks rapidly to receive the full effect from this passive skill. Cause the faster we use her arrows, the faster she can replenish them and earn more damage buffs. So if we do not have the trait called Rapid Shot on our team from before, we may want to consider it for this particular champion. Next up we have her ultimate skill. When we activate this skill, we will consume all arrows immediately, before replenishing them with enhanced arrows. Our enhanced arrows deal 500% strength true damage, and also detonate on impact, which deals another 320% strength damage to surrounding enemies. This skill is entirely damage-based, and it looks pretty good in my opinion. With a high amount of strength, we could deal a great amount of damage altogether. Quickly explained, our current arrows disappear before we receive a new batch of 5 arrows. These ones will be buffed up to deal more damage. So upon launching, each arrow will deal 500% strength true damage, which means it surpassed all types of damage resistance. And each arrow also deals 320% normal strength damage to surrounding enemies upon impact with the target. So if we understood this skill correctly, it should deal single target damage as well as AoE damage. The ultimate skill of hers looks more promising compared to the previous ones, but I still feel like we may not be too impressed with her as a whole. Strength is a major factor for our female Shimo, since all of her skills are reliant on it. We have to increase her speed and damage output to maybe be able to one-shot kill an opponent or kill the opponent within 3 seconds to gain a temporary strength buff from her clan trait. It could work nicely, but to be perfectly honest with you, I am not very convinced with our female Shimo as a whole. She seems like a speed and strength reliant champion, who isn't entirely up to the current meta. The clan trait is quite weird with its stupid requirements, and it may be difficult for us to gain the clan trait's strength buff. Anyways, let us move on to discuss the male Shimo before we properly conclude with anything. In male Shimo's active skill, he will shoot a frost arrow at the target which deals 880% strength damage to the target and the enemies along the path. When the target is struck by this attack, the target will have its attack speed reduced by 80% for 8 seconds. Basically, he deals damage in a straight line towards the target, and whoever is in the way will also get hit. When this attack impacts our target, he or she will launch slower attacks for about 8 seconds. Our active skill looks completely ordinary, so there is not much else to mention, to be honest. I feel like his skill will be more valuable to us when we are fighting a team rather than a boss or a single enemy, since fighting a team gives us a possibility of dealing more damage. Anyways, it looks average so far, so let us move on to his passive skill next. When we apply a debuff to the enemy, our male Shimo will gain a shield equal to 600% of his strength. The shield will last for 10 seconds. So our male's passive skill is kinda connected with his active skill. What I am saying is that our passive skill will automatically activate once we launch our active skill, since our active skill launches a debuff on our enemy. So we don't have to worry much about whether the passive skill will be activated or not. But for our passive skill's shield to truly work wonders, we need to buff up his strength. Traits such as brutal and aggressive may be the best options for this type of champion, but before deciding on anything, let us take a look at his ultimate skill. He deals 1200% strength-based damage in the target area. After 5 seconds, the launched arrow will detonate and deal 800% strength damage to enemies in the area, and also increase the damage they take by 32% for 10 seconds. Quickly explained, we deal AoE damage to enemies and debuff them for a while. So it looks like an alright ultimate skill, in my opinion. Our skill's description may be pretty short, but it has a good damage output. And as mentioned earlier, since all of his damage output is strength related, we will need strength-based traits to make use of his full potential. With everything being said and all, I feel like our male Shimo champion may not be one of our best options out there. Overall, he is focusing on too many different things, aka he deals damage, debuffs enemies, and buffs himself with a shield. So there is a possibility for him to turn out below average in battle. According to his skills, he may be more suitable in team versus team battles, instead of single target or boss fights type of battles. And I think we can say the same thing about our female Shimo. She is also more useful against multiple opponents, so that is one thing we should keep in mind about this clan. The female may be more compatible with the clan trait instead of the male, as she is a full-blown DPS type. Our male, on the other hand, is more of a debuffer, which makes it less likely for him to fulfill the requirement of our clan trait. If this clan summoning banner returns, I personally would not try my luck for either the male or female of this clan. Our Shimo's clan trait doesn't meet up to our expectations, and the existence of guardians has made this clan look weak in general. But keep in mind, this is just my own personal opinion on the matter, and it is based solely on my own observations and thoughts. In the end, it is up to each and one of us, so if you feel like you really want this clan, then it is completely alright to acquire them. I am just choosing not to, simply because I do not think I personally will gain much from this clan. That all being said, I believe we have covered the topic for today. If you have any questions or thoughts you would like to share with us, feel free to comment below. To partake in our giveaways, subscribe to the channel. You may also leave a like or share the video with your friends, if you want to show your support. We highly appreciate your support and contribution. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and have an amazing day. Take care, stay foxy, adios, bye.